Bracketology just released their new predictions. Joe Lenardi did. This is my first video on here, but I'm going to do some predictions. I've got this mapped out already. Shout out to pdffiller.com, but I'm basically just going to go through all these games. These are not official, of course. They could very well be. But yeah, I'm basically just going to go through all these different teams, tell y'all my predictions if this were to be the final bracket. Let me know what you guys think of all these in the comments below. Fair warning, I am an Iowa State fan, so I might be a little biased at times, but I'm going to try to keep my Big 12 bias and Iowa State bias at its very minimum. So anyways, first up here, Purdue and North Carolina Central. I'm going to go with Purdue. That's a pretty easy one. I think everybody can take Purdue in that game. Texas and Texas A&M. I do like Texas A&M's offense. I think that Texas A&M's offense would just be too powerful for Texas's defense. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M here in this one. San Diego State and Appalachian State, whatever. I'm going to go with San Diego State here. I don't think Appalachian State would have even a chance in that game. Creighton and UNC Wilmington. I honestly feel like this could definitely be an upset game. I think I am going to stick with Creighton, though. But I think that game could definitely be very, very close. Kentucky and Nevada. I also think this could be an upset game. And I'm going to take Nevada in this one, beating Kentucky. I just don't think Kentucky has the firepower that they really, or that they're not showing the firepower that they have so far. So Iowa State and Vermont. I told you guys I'm an Iowa State fan. I'm going to take Iowa State in this game. No questions asked. Colorado State and TCU. This is another tough one because I know TCU can be off with their shooting, but when they're on, they can play some really dang good ball, and same for Colorado State. I think I am going to go Colorado State here, though. Seems like TCU's kind of struggled as of late in tournament games. Tennessee, definitely going to get the win here. Not even a question. Arizona and North Dakota. North Dakota had a playing game. I just didn't put it on here. I'm going to go with Arizona getting that win. St. Mary's and Mississippi State. I really like St. Mary's play right now. I watched their game last night against Pepperdine. I think it's who they were playing. They looked like a really, really good team. It always seems like they got a strong team, so I'm going to stay with St. Mary's here. Dayton and Sanford, I'm going to go Dayton. Duke and Yale. Of course, Duke. I don't think Yale is going to do anything. FAU and Gonzaga. Gonzaga had a playing game against Ole Miss. I would predicted Gonzaga would win that. I think Gonzaga is going to get past FAU. I don't think FAU, something's not clicking for them right now, so I'm going to take Gonzaga. Bama and Morehead State, I'm going to take Alabama. I don't think they're going to have any trouble with Morehead State at all. Utah State and Butler. Man, I'm kind of struggling with it. I haven't really seen Utah State a whole lot, but I know that they are a fairly decent team. But I think I am going to take Utah State in this one. I'm going to zoom in here for y'all a little bit so you can kind of see where we're at right now in the bracket. Kansas, Quinnipiac, Kansas 100%. No doubt about it. We're going to come up here and do this bracket. UConn and Southern. UConn gets an easy dub. Virginia, Northwestern. I honestly like Northwestern in this game. I know Virginia has a very good defensive style. One of the best in the country. But I think Northwestern gets. But I really like what Northwestern's doing. Obviously taking down Purdue twice, I think, this year. That's very impressive. BYU and Indiana State. I don't like BYU in this one. I don't really think BYU is deserving of the hype that they have right now. So I'm going to take Indiana State getting the upset. Illinois and USF. Illinois will definitely get that win. I don't see USF coming too close to Illinois if this were to be a real game. GCU and South Carolina. I really like this matchup because I think these are two very underrated teams, and I'm going to go GCU gets an upset here. Baylor and Eastern Washington. Also, sorry for my sniffling. I am a little sick right now. But Baylor and Eastern Washington. I'm going to go Baylor. Big 12 team. Good offense, good defense. That's what they are. They're a very aggressive team. Michigan State and Boise State. I'm going to go Boise State here. I don't really like Michigan State, how they're playing so far right now. I think Boise State would get an upset. I think this North Carolina High Point matchup, I think this could be a really impressive game for High Point. I honestly want to take High Point, but I'm going to take North Carolina. High Point's offense really, really impresses me a lot, though. Houston and Sam Houston. Houston, not a choice, or not a question at all. Florida and Washington State. I'm going to stick with Florida here. I don't see why not for Florida. Clemson going to get the easy win over McNeese State. Wisconsin getting the win over UC Irvine. Don't really see an upset happening there. Texas Tech and Nebraska. This is another game too that I looked at. I'm struggling here, but I think Freddie Hoiberg is going to take Nebraska, and they're going to get past Tech in the first round. Auburn and Akron. I really like Auburn's offensive style. I don't think they're going to go too far in the tournament, but I do think they are going to get past Akron. Oklahoma and New Mexico. I am going to take New Mexico over Oklahoma. New Mexico is a really good mid-major team this year. Marquette and Oakland. I'm going to take a Marquette. Don't be surprised if Marquette sneaks into the 1 seed too, especially if they beat UConn. They will 100% be in that 1 seed column. Back up here, we got Purdue and Texas A&M for the Sweet 16. I hate to do it, Purdue fans, if you're watching this, but I'm taking Texas A&M in this game. I just don't. Texas A&M's offenses can get way too high-powered at times. We saw them beat Tennessee by quite a bit. I don't think Purdue's going to stand a chance if they play Texas A&M, honestly. San Diego State and Creighton, I think kind of the same exact game here. Similar format, at least. If Creighton's on, I don't think San Diego State's going to get a shot. This would be a very interesting matchup, though. I think they played each other, it was either last year or 2 years ago in the tournament, but I'm going to take Creighton in this one, advancing. I think that's going to be a very tight game, though, but, well, I'm going to save that for when I come back. Iowa State, Nevada, Iowa State. I think, again, I'm trying not to be biased, but I do think Iowa State has a lot of firepower. Colorado State, Tennessee, I'm going to take Tennessee. I think it's going to be a really good matchup, though, in that game. Arizona and St. Mary's. I feel like this could be a really interesting game. St. Mary's could definitely give Arizona all that they want, but I'm going to stick with Arizona in a tight battle in that one. Dayton and Duke, I'm going to take Dayton. Duke has not impressed me a ton this year, so I'm going to take Dayton in that game. Gonzaga and Alabama. Gonzaga, I'm sorry, but I'm going to take Alabama. It's so weird to see Gonzaga barely making it in the tournament this year, if they even do make it in the tournament. Utah State and Kansas. I'm going to stick with Kansas as long as they have a healthy Kevin McCullough. They can be, obviously, as we've seen, they just got 30 piece by Texas Tech. So if they don't have one of those star players, that's pretty bad for Kansas if they don't have one of those guys. So UConn, Northwestern. I'm going to take UConn. This is another one of those games where I feel like Northwestern could maybe have an edge, but I don't see it against Northwestern or UConn. Indiana State and Illinois. I want to take Indiana State in this one, but I'm going to have to stick with the Big Ten and go with Illinois. GCU and Baylor. I do not see GCU getting 2 upsets over big schools, so I'm going to go Baylor with this one. North Carolina and Boise State. I do like North Carolina. I think North Carolina is going to have a better time playing Boise State than they are with High Point, and I think North Carolina is going to get by Boise pretty easily. Houston and Florida. Houston's defense is just going to be too good in this tournament, man. There's not a question. Clemson and Wisconsin. I got a lot of doubts about Wisconsin. I almost thought about taking UC Irvine over Wisconsin, but I'm going to go Clemson defeating Wisconsin. Also, sorry about these seedings. I couldn't find one that had all the different seedings, so I'm trying to remember where I'm at for all these seeds right now, but Nebraska and Auburn. Auburn's going to be way too high-powered offensively for Nebraska unless that Tominaga guy or whatever his name is, if he can get going, then Nebraska might be able to pull off the victory, but I just see Auburn as way too much of an offensive powerhouse. New Mexico and Marquette, not a question. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Marquette gets the dub against New Mexico. So now we're in the Sweet 16. We're going to go back up here, Texas A&M and Creighton. I honestly do not really like either of these two teams to be going to the Elite Eight, but if I have to pick one, I'm going to pick Creighton if they're shooting well. If Creighton's not shooting well, Texas A&M is going to destroy them by like 30. Iowa State and Tennessee. I hate to do this to my Iowa State fans, but Tennessee is going to get the win and go to the Elite Eight. Arizona and Dayton. I'm going to take Arizona here. I don't really see Dayton doing super well in the tournament. They could, but I don't know. Alabama and Kansas. I'm going to take Alabama in this one. As much as I like Kansas with a healthy Kevin McCullough, Kansas just does not have a lot of depth, and I think Alabama is just going to run them over. So I'll go back up here. Illinois and UConn. as much as I want to take UConn, I don't think they have the same team they did last year, so I'm going to take Illinois over UConn. Baylor and North Carolina, I'm going to take Baylor. North Carolina is probably the best team right now in the entire country, but I feel like Baylor would give them a lot of fight. So Houston and Clemson, I'm going to go Houston, and they're going to hold Clemson to like 40 points. Auburn and Marquette, I'm going to go with Auburn here in this game. So down to the Elite Eight, we got 2 Big 12 SEC matchups right there. Got a Big 12, Big 10, Big East, and SEC. This is where things are going to get really tricky for me, and I'm probably going to get a lot of comments about how these picks are terrible, and I probably already will, but oh well. Creighton and Tennessee. Oh, man. I feel like if Creighton's on, they're going to destroy Tennessee, but I'm going to pick Tennessee beating Creighton here. Arizona and Alabama. I like Arizona in this matchup. Houston and Auburn. This is another really tough one because Auburn's offense is really good, but Houston has the best defense in the country right now. So I'm going to go with Houston. Baylor and Illinois. I want to take Illinois, but I just think Baylor can hold Illinois down a little bit. So Tennessee and Arizona. I'm going to have to go with Arizona making it to the final. And they will play against the Houston Cougars in a future Big 12 matchup. And if this were the final, and if this were the final game of the season championship, I seriously think that the Houston Cougars would take it all home. So this is my prediction for this week. I'll be making videos every week now that the bracketology comes out. I'm also hoping to make more videos during the week as well. This is just my first video though. But yeah, so if you like these picks, let me know. Let me know what you would not pick. Let me know if you would have a different team going to the Elite Eight or the Final Four than I have right here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.